Well, thank you everyone for joining us today to learn more about Ltrp. Ltrp specializes in text messaging for credit unions. And with us today from Ltrp, we have Mark Matembo. I butchered your name, sorry. Ltrp's Director of Sales, who works with credit unions of all sizes with various needs here in New England. And AVCU is a proud sponsor partner with Ltrp. The enterprising texting platform being showcased today has been built specifically for credit unions and offers a unique functionality that over 220 credit unions are enjoying today. Mark will provide a high-level overview of the company and some of the unique use cases. And if anyone has any questions, you can either unmute yourself or you can put the information in the text box and I will ask the question to Mark. Well, thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Christine and Joe. This is awesome. So thank you for hosting this for us. What I will do now is I will share my screen. And could I just get a thumbs up? Can you all see my screen here? Awesome. So yeah, so Ltrp, who are we and what do we do? We'll talk a little bit about that, a little bit about a background of the company, and then go into some of the use cases that are very relevant for credit unions specifically. So as you see on the slide here, we are called Ltrp. It stems from the word called entropy, which is more or less chaos, and we are trying to solve for chaos in this world via text messaging and just more efficient communications for credit unions. So with that, as Christine had mentioned, we do service over 225 credit unions now today. You can see the asset sizes span from, gosh, as little as $8 million in asset sizes all the way up to upwards of $9 billion. So we service the whole spectrum of credit unions and provide various services to them based on their operations and even resources, as we'll discuss in a little bit as we go through this demonstration of services. So as a company, we actually specialize in providing these services to credit unions. Our CEO went to a Finovate conference in 2018 and presented the services, and after that, 3 credit unions said, we need this service. And from there, we just decided to specialize in to credit unions and provide the services to them. So as you can see, as an enterprise service, we have the ability to accommodate any and all use case within the credit union. So whether it's marketing, lending, collections, in the contact center or member services center, we see a lot of times when people call into the call center, there's a lot of conversation, Q&A that goes back and forth, what is referred to as out-of-wallet questions or authenticating individual by what they know. We're actually leveraging texting with a 2FA, which is a two-factor authentication out-of-band password. So by actually confirming just a couple data points, like the name and phone number of the individual calling, once we know that, we refer to that and confirm that via the source of truth, which would be likely your core, where all the KYC or the know your customer information resides. We can actually send a text to that individual when we're talking to them. And that actually confirms what we know, but it also confirms what they have. And it's leaving out the third type of authentication, which is who you are. And that's a biometric, facial, voice print, fingerprint, things of that nature. So we're combining what you know and what you have. It's very efficient. It's more secure, but also just offers a better member experience. So, and also with branches and emergencies, for sake of Ida or all the wildfires on the West Coast, we are seeing credit unions use the service for just really getting relevant information into the hands of whether it's their members or even employees immediately. Evacuation purposes, maybe branch hours are changing or branches are closing for the time being during such emergencies, or maybe it's during a core conversion or even a merger. We are seeing credit unions using this information, just anticipating gosh, here's the best way to communicate with your members. And when systems are down because of core conversion or a merger, you're going to really eliminate a lot of anxious calls coming into the call center if you're preemptively informing them of systems being down when people are trying to access their money. So reputation management is another great service that we provide to really help credit unions build and maintain their online reputation, which as consumers, we all know how we consume and educate ourselves, whether we're going to cook a recipe or travel or book a hotel or go to a restaurant. We're going to look at some reputations, like how many stars do they have? What's the review ratings? Okay, so we're going to talk about a little bit about how credit unions could be more proactive and really strategic around that, which is, well, the antithesis of that is really probably what we're doing today, which is nothing. And we're being more reactive to reviews and ratings online. But as we all know, we're online a lot. From a collection standpoint, really, we have some partnerships where we can enable the efficiency or ease of collecting money on loans. And we all know everyone seems to be very flush with cash with all the stimulus, but I think we can all anticipate that's going to be changing a lot as well with all the stimulus and helicopter money being stopping, right? So payments, collections is going to be more of an issue as we proceed through this crisis, if you will. And then obviously alerts. We have the ability to send alerts manually or in an automated fashion. So, you have a payment reminder date here. You can schedule the system to send out payments ahead of time, ahead of that payment date, as a courtesy reminder to a segment of membership. And we'll go through this in more detail as well. So with respect to what we're solving for, and we wrote an article, which I think there was a lot of interest in the credit union community with respect to some top tips of how to use text messaging and what we solve for and what to look out for. Well, obviously, as a financial institution, you're under the most stringent regulations in the world. And obviously, with texting, there's some issues there as well. So with texting, you cannot just text everyone for any reason. So there's compliance. And the Federal Communication Commission, the FCC, regulates texting. And there's also a regulation called the TCPA, the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. And that also restricts how you text or with whom you can text and how. So we'll talk about that. And then obviously as a financial institution and the data and information that's being passed back and forth, it has to be secure, right? So for loan applications, share applications, whatever that may be, there's sensitive PII, personal identifiable information. PII is going back and forth, which we have to protect. We integrate into many systems in which credit unions operate upon, which I will show you a slide in a little bit, but we have various systems that we operate in and are open, obviously, to integrating to more with our clients. And with that, we solve for very complex and manual workflows and simplify them or streamline the operations, as you'll see in the demonstrations and the use cases. And as we see these, let's think about these things because these are very much intertwined. We can offer help. We can actually help the credit union offer a better member experience simply by reducing phone tag in one instance. We could streamline the operations. So if you're reducing phone tag, it takes two to tango. So you're reducing effort and resources on the credit union side as well. And in doing so, we can enhance the bottom line. So if you're reducing operational expenses or enhancing or making processes more efficient, you can improve the bottom line, or you can simply, what we're doing is we're accelerating interest income, which is how financial institutions and credit unions operate upon is interest income, right? So if we could streamline how a credit union can accelerate the loan process by maybe 20%, which was what we're seeing, or 3 or 4 days, that's super powerful, that's more interest income. And obviously that'll be more come into play when interest rates rise. So let's think about all these things as we go through the use cases, but also, there's a huge problem right now with resources. It's restaurants, it's Ubers, it's credit unions, it's everywhere, it's retail. People don't want to work. So Christine and I had this conversation the other day about, gosh, if you're having a hard time hiring people, why not employ systems that will enable your credit union to operate more efficiently and reallocate some of these resources who already know the business? So if you're saving time, with support in the contact center, maybe you can alleviate or replace or transition an employee or two to do something where they're needed. They already know the business. You don't have to hire someone. You don't have to train that person. So there's a lot of efficiencies and a ripple effect that you can experience with just these use cases, which we'll go through. So here's a slide of our integrations. We see various cores, lending platforms, collections platforms, call center, CRM systems, e-signatures. We can add IMM to this list as well, which is a new partner. Reviews with respect to reputation management, and payments. SWBC's product called Bacon Pay, which is, everyone gets a little chuckle out of that because it's such a cool name and memorable. So Bacon Pay is a great way to get funds from third-party institutions. If there's a car loan due or a mortgage due, the member doesn't have funds at the credit union, but they have money, say, somewhere else, they can actually set up the account to move funds from that other institution to the credit union. Okay, so let's talk about Tcpa compliance. As we talked about, this is under the guise of the FCC and the TCPA, the Telephone Communications Act. Well, there's two types of texting, right? There's informational texts. So if this is where simply there's information going back and forth. And in order to send that type of text, you need to get implied consent. What is implied consent? Well, that really means as a credit union, you need to get the member to provide their phone number to you, give you their mobile number, or they can actually text you first. And that's implied consent that they are willing to receive informational texts. Examples would be a status update, say of a loan or requesting information. We talked about merger updates, situations, branch hours, collections, emergencies, et cetera. And again, I'll refer to a situation that we probably all have experienced with. We go to a doctor, we have a doctor's appointment tomorrow at 3. We'll probably get a reminder the day before or that morning of your reminder or of your appointment saying why or yes if you're going to show up or not. Very simple. They just really want to confirm if you're going to show up or not. And that's an informational text. Now, the other side of this is promotional texting. Promotional texting is where you're offering new services or wares or products that to a member who doesn't have those services already. So in order to do that, these are obviously sales and marketing promotions. In order to do that, you need to get express written consent. And how do we do that? Well, you can put some language into your forms, your T's and C's during registration or as they're using your services, or you can really do it through a texting process, a digital process, which I will take you through now. So for all of you who have your phones, I'm going to ask one of you to interact with me. So what we're going to do here is grab your phone and scan this QR code. And imagine this QR code is on your website. It's on all your social media. It's maybe it's a QR code on your envelopes for your statements or on your digital newsletter. It could be anywhere and everywhere, but really it's saying, hey, sign up to receive marketing texts from the credit union. And in doing so, there's two ways to do this. You could either scan the QR code. Days of the QR code apps are gone. Now cameras are sophisticated. All you have to do is open up your camera and point the camera to hover over the QR code, and it will automatically trigger the option to send that text to this particular short code here with this special word in there called demo CU. So can anyone on the line just kind of read me through this process, and I can talk through it as we go through this, what is called a dual opt-in process.
Yep. I scanned the code, and then I received an email saying that demo see you, and then reply why to start receiving messages. And so I did. And then they asked for my name, and then it welcomed me to the text offer list.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Christine. So as I mentioned, this is a dual opt-in process. First, you scan this code, you send a word to that code, and then you validate that by typing in Y or yes. From there, there's some language. It says message and data rates apply. You're not obligated to buy anything. And this is sent from an auto dialer. This is all TCPA compliant language. Now, we do ask for your name. You could input that as you see fit. Or not. That is not required for TCPA compliance. However, it's valuable because as you see in the last text that you received, that your name is there. So, and then that final text actually says welcome, as Christine mentioned, but it also, at the very end of it, it says stop equals opt out. So when we are providing texts to individuals, we really need to give them a proper, a simple, and easy way to opt out of receiving them, right? So now what I'm showing you is my screen. This is what we call our Ltrp messenger platform. And so we show the activity. We see some menu here, items here on the left here. I'm on the activity tab, and I can see Sue and Christine. They've input their phone number or their name. We've captured their phone number by nature of interacting with the code, and we see what they've done. They've opted in for text marketing, and we have a nice timestamp here. And this is all super important, even though it may not seem like it, because again, we are managing the opt-ins and the opt-outs of your members because we don't want to get a TCPA compliant breach or fine, and we timestamp it. So we are recording this, we store this, and it's available for any auditing purposes. So again, back to being compliant, we take this obviously very seriously, and that's why we have the reporting to boot, right?
Now,
and enable or restrict any accidents.
Now, Mark, how long do you keep this information? So if Sue said, I never opted in to receive text messaging, then can I just type in Sue's phone number and then I'd be like, yeah, you did today at 11:16?
That's a great question. And we keep it for as long as the credit union wants to or needs to. So I think the law says you need to keep these types of records for 6 years. Many are opting for 6 or 7 years. So that is not a problem to even store it perpetually, for that matter.
Now, can you have this so that Sue's information would go to the credit union scanning program that they utilize and under her membership number?
Yes, so we do have different options of how that can be done. Maybe it's a manual export, or it can be somewhat automated as well, depending on the core and the integrations that we have available. So absolutely.
And then, sorry, I'm taking over. So
That's all right.
So how would I know what member number Sue is related to in my credit union?
So really the common thread is this phone number here.
Okay.
So because someone could put Mickey Mouse in here, and people have done that, and that's not kind of what we would call KYC'd, but the information that is in your core is has been undergone that process. So there will be a sync with respect to the name and number from the system into the core.
Okay. And so if I worked at Demo Credit Union, I would look up that phone number in my core and I would say, oh yeah, it's attached to Sue. And then she would be good to go.
And then we would have the flag accordingly for the opt-in. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Thank
Yep.
you.
Great questions. Great questions. Thank you. So now let's say we have all of these people who have opted in. They want to receive marketing texts. So now what we'll do is go down here and create a campaign. Okay. So what we'll do here is go ahead and click on this new campaign, and we'll just name it demo for sake of demonstration. And then we're going to go here. We have some options here. I'm going to click this bar that says add recipients. And here is where we have some options. Because this is a marketing campaign, what I can do is I can click this button, and it's going to import all the people who have opted in to receive marketing texts. Okay, boom. I push that and we appear. Now, alternatively, I can actually import all the leads into the system. Maybe it's an emergency or some sort of situation where everyone needs to be alerted. Or maybe there's a special situation where maybe a new branch is open or branch hours are closed, or there's a certain segment of your membership that needs to be alerted. We can slice and dice that membership and upload that file here and send the applicable notification out from that point on. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select some content, and this is going to be a marketing promotion. We're going to call this a COVID promo. And this can be kind of like your file folder on your computer, but we've configured some information here. So I'm going to select that. And then this is the pre-configured content that will go out in this text. And you can be whatever you see fit, but we can also change it. We can say, we hope you find this promo valuable. Okay, please click the link. So there's a link there. And we're going to set the time, which is going to be in about 3 minutes at 25 after the hour. There's an end date here. We're not going to choose it, but we could if we needed to, because really what that end date will do is actually invalidate this URL, this link, okay? Because not all promos last forever. However, this text could be residing in your text box forever. And you may refer to this promo in December after it's expired. So this link will then be expired. So we're going to go ahead and launch this campaign, and it's set for successfully being deployed in about 2 minutes. Now let's talk through this. What's going to happen is we're going to receive a text, and it's the language that we had that I typed in there at the very bottom. And this is a one-to-many text. So this is a campaign going from the credit union to many people, okay? Hopefully you'll have hundreds or thousands of people who have opted in to receive marketing texts. And there's some psychology behind this, because let's think about this ourselves. How many unread texts do we have on our phone? When I'm a member—
0.
Okay, thank you. When I'm a member of the credit union, what email address am I going to give the credit union? My work email? Probably not. Okay, probably a personal email, and maybe one of many personal emails. How many unread emails do we have in that email address that we give to the credit union?
Quite a bit. And I know some people will also put in, have a separate email address just for,
Yeah.
that type of stuff.
Yes, absolutely. So there's a psychology here. So people care about their money, I presume. Most of us do. So we are wanting to send them very pointed information, important, relevant information to them about the promotions. As a nonprofit, we're sending the most valuable, relevant information to our members, and we want to keep them up to date. So it looks like we have received our text. And Christine, you want to read that to us?
Whoops, I just was clicking. Dear Christine, I hope you find this promo valuable. Please click the link to view this content.
Okay, so let's look at that link and for a second. It's https://democu.ltrp.com/sh/817311717. So what I'm getting at is two things. This URL will be branded for the credit union. Okay, you have a brand, credit unions have a brand. So in this case, if we look at onecu.org, what we will do is look at their domain name, but take a subdomain name of that. Maybe the word is text.onecu.org. Okay, So branding is very important. But also at the end of this link, there's a unique identifier. Mine ends in 1717. Everyone else's is totally different. And that gives us the ability as marketers and data people, it gives us the ability to actually see who has clicked on this link, how often it's been clicked on, if it's been clicked on, etc. This is very valuable information. So now that we do click on this link, what happens, Christine?
It brought me to a promo.
Okay. A pretty good promo, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 0%.
0%. Yeah, I just signed up for it too.
Awesome. So that's great. So at the bottom of this, it says you could text the word apply and send that word to a specific phone number, which may be going directly to your lending group or wherever it may be. We direct it to someone at the credit union, or we can actually just simply click that link here. And that is going to basically open up our text box, populate the word apply. All we need to do is then hit the green arrow to send that word apply. So let's go ahead and do that. So when we do that, I'm going to go over here to my bar on the left that says messages. And I'm going to see that we've done that. So we see Sue is here. She texted the word apply. Even though this is contact center, maybe this is the lending group, as I mentioned, just for sake of this demonstration. So we show apply. And this is what is called an auto response keyword. So this helps people self-serve or expedite themselves through the process. And here what we're doing is this auto response is configured so it says, thank you for your interest in this promotion. Here's a link to the application center. Boom. It takes us to this link, and this link enables the member to then go proceed with the application and simply engage with the process very easily. So we've already probably eliminated a couple touch points with the member service reps just by simply having this auto response, pointing them to the right place. Let's assume that Sue really wants to take advantage of this loan. And in doing so, she fills out the application. Well, once that happens, myself, I'm the member service rep or the loan officer in this case, I can actually go up here and choose some quick responses. So now, remember the first text was a one-to-many blast. And now that Sue's engaged here with apply at this particular phone number, remember is a phone number associated with, say, the lending group to take advantage of this promo, I can go ahead and choose a quick response, which is configured for the applicable role that I'm playing. And in this case, I'm a loan officer. This says, Sue, this is Mark, your loan officer at Demo CU. I received your loan application. I look forward to working with you. How are you doing today? She can text back freestyle, and I can text back to her freestyle here in this box and type away, or I can choose more quick responses. Okay, so now we're going through this process, and I have her application, and now I'm missing something. I need to get a pay stub from her. So what I'm going to do is send her this text, and it says, thank you for your application. To complete the process, we need a copy of a recent pay stub. Now I'm going to send you a text with a secure link to complete this process. So if Sue were to attach a picture and send it to me, that would fly over channels of communications that are not secure, allowing PII to be breached or in the hands of bad people. What we're going to do is we're going to send the secure link to Sue, and we can liken this to how we take pictures of checks and deposit them. There's a secure ability to do that, and that's bolted onto your mobile app. And that picture goes and is then delivered to the credit union. Here, what we're going to do is we're going to enable Sue to really take a picture just as if it were a check, but it's going to be, Sue, if you could play along with us and just take a picture of something in your office or a selfie. We like selfies. as if it were a pay stub or a driver's license and send it along. That would be very, very helpful. Are you with us, Sue? And maybe she's...
Yep, no, I am. I'm here. Hold on. I'm trying to mute, unmute, take a picture.
Okay.
Bear with me one quick sec.
Okay, and if you could talk us through this process, Sue. Sorry to put you on the spot, but it's pretty straightforward.
Hi. So basically, of course, you could have chosen one of the least tech-savvy people in this. Gotcha. So I am basically taking a picture of something. Okay, what can I do? Think of something that's like, looks kind of like official here that I can take a picture of.
And what it should be doing as we talk through this, it should be asking her for a code to then put into a specific field, and this field will then allow her to then take that picture. And have you gotten through that process yet, Sue?
Okay, hold on, here we go. Okay, so when I clicked on the link, in order to access this document, you need to confirm your identity using your mobile phone or email. Choose a phone number or email below and send verification code. Okay, so it looks like I'm...
You can do it.
It looks like I...
Through your phone, if you could.
Yep.
And then it should give you a code then to put into that field, and then that will allow you then to take the picture and send it off.
Got it. Okay, so yep, so I just got my verification code. And it was very fast, so I did get that. Okay, so I'm confirming my code. Okay, so now now it says, please upload your pay stub using the attach button below.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming when I hit attach,
Yes.
Okay, and so when I hit attach, a little box opens up that either I can pick something from a photo library, I can take a photo or a video, or I can browse. Okay.
In the instance of a driver's license,
You're gonna.
Oh, go ahead.
Gotcha. You're gonna get my grandson.
Awesome.
So it says, and so now I have a message that popped up that says, congratulations, your document has been submitted. You may now close this window. And then it says view response.
That comes over really fast. Oh, he's so cute. So cute.
Well, that's
Theodore, just so that you all know, that's Theodore. So anyway.
Theodore. It's like a Gerber baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
So thank you, Sue, for participating. Obviously, we're seeing the use cases being very relevant for account opening or loans. We're actually seeing HR use it for getting W-4s and I-9s, and maybe even in collections if there's a co-borrower that needs to, sign a document to allow a co-borrower on that for that situation. So many use cases here. So Sue, if you could also reply to the text and attach a picture. Obviously that picture was in your photo library.
Okay.
Right?
Gotcha. Yep.
Okay, so just try to attach a picture, then send that to me. Now, when as she's doing that, I'll talk through another situation. If she were to take a picture, as if it were a driver's license, then just like a check, it would not reside in her photo library, interestingly enough. So just like the check, right? You take a picture of a check, send it off to the credit union, that check does not appear in your photo library anywhere. So just the same. Now, when she sends me a picture as an attachment, that's called an MMS, multimedia service. And that's for videos, pictures, etc. What's going to happen essentially is it won't come through. She's going to get a response that says, okay, no, don't send it via the link, because I see you just
Yeah,
the link.
that's what I was trying to
Just go
figure
through
out where I'm going back to.
If you can just attach a picture to any of the texts that I've sent you.
Well, that's what I was trying to do. I gotcha.
Without the link. So, and to that end, this is very important information that just came up. This is a very powerful informational box. She clicked on this link, and then what happened? When she actually put in that code again, I was able to see that she's accessing that. And we're going to revisit this commentary based on a collections use case in a second. So, because it's probably more relevant for a collections use case. Okay. So as she's doing that, we're going to carry on, and I'm going to go through a situation where we're going to
So
show.
hopefully you just got something, Mark. I just took a picture of an envelope on my desk. Did you get that?
No, and I won't, because it was sent via a non-secure channel. So the text that you got was what? I bet it's what I'm highlighting right here.
Yep, we do not accept text with attached images as they are not secure. Please request a secure link from the credit union so we can deliver the image or document sincerely. Thank you. Gotcha. Okay.
I like that, because a lot of people, when I worked at a credit union, people were sending their pay stubs through email, and they weren't even writing the word confidentials, because we used to have a stop on that. And yeah, that's nice.
It's a good security feature.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a great fail-safe mechanism. So very powerful. And again, so we have this platform that you've seen, this messenger platform on mobile apps as well. So you have loan officers who are out there in the field, and you really want to enable quick responses from your loan officers to your members. Well, the last thing you want is them getting or corresponding with or without pictures via their own mobile phone, right? So that brings up another point. What we can do is we can text enable your phone numbers, right? So what we see here, we see contact info. Well, okay, actually there's the number right there. We see this phone number here. We can text enable this phone number. We can text enable all of these phone numbers. And we can also text enable the phone numbers for your loan officer specifically. So you can say call or text. And I'm going to show you a great example of this, which is how this credit union is doing it. We go to the contact page, and we say that they're promoting their AIM service here, their interactive mobile service. But when you really want to connect with them, it says, boom, text us. This is the first thing really of how to do this. Well, why? Because people prefer texting. So it's up top. Mm-hmm. Secondly, you can call us, but guess what? The numbers look pretty similar, don't they? So again, this is part of your brand, your phone number. Okay. So we want to ensure people know who they're calling, and when they're clicking on a link, who it's coming from. So I'm not going to go through the DocuSign example. Actually, you know what? I will really quickly. I'm just going to attach a document really quickly here. And let's see my desktop. This is our good old loan approval. And Sue, I'm going to make up an email address for you. And why I'm doing that is because for you to access and sign the document, it's going to ask you for a code, just like it did for you to enable a phone picture to be uploaded. You can get that via email or text. Just go ahead and do that via text in this situation, because as we know, it's probably going to be easier for you. Okay, so this is another big friction point that we're solving for. Okay, this is the first one is getting documents. The second one is getting signatures. And as Sue goes through this process, I'll just tell a little story that when I refinanced probably a year and a half ago, the loan officer calls me and says, Mark, can you sign the documents? I said, absolutely. Where are they? She goes, check your Gmail, right? I did. So this was Thursday afternoon. I looked at my Gmail, found the email, and it was sent on Monday sometime. So I said, boom, I'll go ahead and sign the documents. Well, I went to then I pivoted to my phone and actually did it via my phone because it was just easier, because the process is much easier to do it on your phone than trying to figure out how to do it on your computer. At any rate, what I did was, what she did was she called me this Thursday afternoon. She also previously left a message for my wife, and she had to think about me and this loan and getting our signatures for about 3 days. So getting this into the palms of someone's hands is super efficient. Just, referring back to the text/email attention that we pay to each of these channels of communications. So in that vein, it's, she could have probably had 2 or 3 days extra interest income by closing this loan that much faster. So Sue, how is this process for you?
There you go. I take you off mute. Yeah, I signed it. It was really very easy. I was doing it on my cell phone. It just popped right through, and again, I had to put in a code again. So that's the interest. So it does. The security is there because every time I'm doing it, it's sending me a code to put in even before I was looking to, for the documents to come up to get my signature.
So you could put that 10 grand into a Roth IRA for Theodore. Get them all set.
There you go. Exactly.
So, however, okay, we're going to go into a new scenario, which is collections. Okay, collections is a situation that we think is going to be more and more popular, if we want to call it that. And unfortunately now, Sue, you're not paying your bills. Okay, so then I have to, text you or engage you somehow. I choose a quick response that says, hello, Sue, this is Mark from the credit resolutions team. I just left you a voicemail. Can you please call or text me? I can choose something like this, which is probably 99% configured. This shows the dollar amount I'm going to type in. So maybe $200 overdue by whatever, 10 days. I send this off to you. Really what I'm doing is engaging you, right? In a medium that's probably considered less personal, but very convenient. But also, this is beautiful because if we compare it to phone and email, we already talked about email, let's talk about phone. Phone is synchronous. If I call Sue and ask her for money, the likelihood of her picking up is very rare. Hopefully she's busy working. Even if she's not busy, she's probably not going to pick up my call, right? But if I text her, the point is made. The action of what needs to happen is there. She can refer to this at a later date or time. Okay, all the money's given to Theo. So let's say that she actually says she can pay today or next week, right? Because she gets paid next week, and that's a beautiful thing. We're resolving this. We're going along through this interaction. Again, it's asynchronous. She can attend to it at her convenience. Well, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to send her a link. And this link is going to go to, let's just call it this credit union. Okay. Well, actually, it doesn't matter. We're going to send her to this credit union and she's going to be able to pay through this credit union. So what I've done is I've configured this with this unique link. When she clicks on this link, it's going to take her to a page to log into maybe Bacon Pay or the login page to any page on the website. She can actually facilitate this payment. Now, please click on that link, Sue, and let's take a look at what happens.
Okay.
Can you
I got that.
Can you also pay by credit card?
Well, depending on what's configured on the back end infrastructurally and what the credit union has set up. So if they have Bacon Pay set up or any of these third-party systems where they can configure, put in a credit card to make that payment. So this is what I wanted to revisit here. This is super powerful because we're already undergoing a very sensitive, anxious, not very fun process. But she said she could pay on next Friday. I send her the link, and this is, again, giving me huge, powerful intelligence. I see she clicked on the link, maybe on that Friday afternoon or Saturday, or maybe she never clicked on the link. So this is going to help me as a collections person regulate how I call her or follow up with her or text her. And we're walking on eggshells right here because it's a very sensitive situation. We don't want to burn any bridges, but we want to be sensitive. And by being able to see what she's doing with these actions by clicking on this link, maybe multiple times, then we can identify what she's doing. With our integration to some of these payment systems, when a payment is actually configured and scheduled, another box will show up here and it'll say, oh, payment is scheduled. Boom. That way I know as a member service rep or collection person, I don't need to call her and, bring up any anxiety from making the payment because I know it's scheduled. So these informational boxes via these links are super powerful. Okay. So now,
And Mark, just a quick question. So what is the, basically this chain of communication, if you're using it from a collections perspective, between our collector and the member? So is there a way that, all of this can be archived to show the collection efforts? Maybe the member responded saying, yes, I'm going to pay, but then they didn't. So can this all be captured and archived?
Everything is captured, recorded, and stored, whether it's on our system or if you could download it, or if you're connected via a core integration, we could automatically sync it to your core. As you saw those cores listed, Epicus, Correlation, DNA, Prodigy, not Prodigy actually, but, and that's helpful because maybe someone else within the organization who doesn't have this platform that you're seeing here can actually go to the core and look at the conversation that's been had as we are seeing it right here. Great question. Now let's say that Sue calls me and she wants to reset her password. So we talked about this earlier. What I'm going to do is I'm going to either type Sue's number if it's not in front of me, or her name, and it's going to pull up her information. So once she calls me, I say, yes, this is Mark. How can I help you? Sue says, I want to change my password. I say, okay, great. What's your name? What's your mobile phone number? And I confirm that here. Once I do that, I go up to this check mark, and I click this. And I say, great. I'm not going to ask you your mother's maiden name, your last four, your favorite color, your account number, whatever, some secret passcode. Well, I am going to actually ask you for the passcode that I just delivered to you. So I'm going to say, Sue, can you please read back to me the code that you just received via text?
Hold on. Yes, this is, dear Sue, your verification code is 259581.
259581, if I recall that correctly.
Mhm.
Boom.
Mhm.
Okay, so now you see on my screen that we get the green thumbs up. We're like, okay, I could change your password. It's going to save time. It's going to save friction. It's going to provide a better member experience. So finally, Sue, I was providing you awesome service, right? Or I can say,
Exactly.
Sue, how was the service that you received today? Hopefully you're going to say, awesome, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, fantastic. Would you be willing to provide a review based on the service you received today? And I have the hunch that she did receive good service. So that's why I'm going to ask the question. And then I'm going to go ahead and simply click this button up here. And in doing so, we've got this configured for the one credit union, the Chester branch. So maybe I'm working out of the Chester branch. So I go up here and I send her this link. So this is where I'm being proactive and strategic on asking for reviews. This link is going to take her to the Google review page, and it is live, Sue, so you can give it 5 stars and provide any commentary if you saw fit. So what this is doing is enabling, like I said, the credit union to build. We see that she clicked on the link, her reputation. So let's go back to this, and I'm going to give you a little insight of what's going on here. Online review management. So we have a little credit union here. 4.8, 4.9, 4.9. Look at the amount of reviews they have. So we want to build this Ltrp flywheel and get you all on it. By nature of all the use cases that we went through, this is going to help you provide world-class service. So then once you do that, you ask for the reviews that you know that were great from your members, from the service you provided them. So that's going to help you build and maintain a great reputation, because as consumers, what do? We go look at reviews and ratings. So this helps us build and create a good first impression, because you can only do that once, right? As they say. What's that going to do? Hopefully these people who are searching for a new financial institution will be impressed. So you will then get more members. So then what do? You provide more great service. And then what do? And you're on the flywheel. Questions, comments on that? I will bring this up. This is credit union. We're one credit union. Pretty decent reviews there, 55 at 4.8, 15 there, 4.2 here. We look at other credit unions that are showing up, 3.7, 9 reviews, 2 reviews, et cetera, et cetera. So we can see, actually one credit union has some pretty decent reviews. Probably can use more, but we get the gist, right? So I'm going to go back and just share with you some other use cases here. We see here this contact center, they reduced their authentication process from 3 minutes to about 45 seconds, or about 300% faster. Big shop. They actually decided not to hire 2 jobs, or they removed 2 job postings in their call center. So that was, whatever the dollar amount, but also if you think about the hiring of a new employee, there's a lot of extra cost that goes along with that.
Yeah, I totally agree with the authentication, because when you call in, you have to answer like 3 questions. And if you can just send them a text message, it's a lot quicker.
Yes. Engagement here is super high, text via phone calls. Our members would never pick up our phone calls, but they open their hearts up on texts. Blown away. The telco, this is accelerating the mortgage process from 15 days down to 12. Just getting documents faster within about 33 minutes versus 24 hours. And marketing, the higher click-through rates, 500% more click-through rates just by nature of sending it to text via email or versus email. We have a lot of credit unions. We have a lot of advantages of our system. I could share this deck with Christine and she could share it with others, but really, we're domain experts in this vertical. We know what you need to know. There was a CEO that was getting texts or getting driver's licenses on another platform, which I will not name, but he was super elated. And he's like, Mark, we're getting driver's licenses. And I said, well, that is awesome. But the unawesome part is the fact that they're not secure. And he's like, what are you talking about? So we had that discussion and he kind of freaked out, but now he's a client. But anyway, we're going to tell you what you need to know to be successful and compliant and secure. Okay. We're going to train your people how to use it depending on their user level, what their roles are within the credit union. We were voted best texting solution for credit unions, endorsed by 29 of the 31 credit union leagues. We just raised $25 million by a Series A led by K1 Capital. Also participants in that fund were Kino Mutual Financial Group Ventures and the Circle Fund, which is made up of money from credit unions. We were their first investment there. Okay. And that's all I have for you. Any questions or comments? I unfortunately do have a hard stop at the top. So we have about 3 minutes.
Well, thank you, Mark. I found this, very useful information for our credit unions. If anyone has any comments or questions, you can unmute yourself or put it in the chat box. The video will be in the Newslines Express this next week, and so that you can, rewatch the meeting event at your leisure. And thank you, Mark. It was, like I said, it was full of lots of information and a lot of good, useful tools for our credit unions. And, it is hard to hire people these days. And I do believe that Ltrp is one way to make up maybe 3 people or whatever, it will help some of these credit unions.
It'll definitely help. And I think also there's pent up for demand for texting. Everyone knows how to do it. I was talking to another gentleman and he said, gosh, Mark, we're getting requests from people who don't even have online or mobile banking accounts for texting. So it's testament to the ubiquity of it of all ages. My parents and I text, my parents text my kids, and it's all we all text, I guess. So think about it, honestly, how we use texting. Your members are probably using the texting in the same, very, very same fashion or very similar to that. So.
Yep, I agree. And I will just say one thing. I was heading to my uncle's funeral a couple of weeks ago, and I got a text message from PSCU saying that there was some fraud on my debit card. And I quickly went to my financial account and blocked my card. But if someone had called me, I wouldn't have answered it because I was at a funeral and it would have someone was going to have a happy day and I didn't lose 1 penny.
Great point. Great point. Well, I'd like to thank you all for your time and helping us put on this event. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we look forward to speaking to others who are interested in answering any other detailed questions.
Thank you, Mark.
Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you, Mark.
Thank you, everybody.